Sign the reworked Electoral Act Amendment Bill any moment from now, his spokesperson, Femi Adesina, has assured. Mr. Adesina, who stated this on Tuesday, said the president will sign the act any moment from now, adding that it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be any time. The presidential spokesman further said it is a matter of hours, not days, noting that hours could be 24 hours, it could be 48 hours, not days or weeks. The assurance by the presidential spokesperson comes as some civil society organizations embarked on protests to pressure Mr. Buhari to sign the reworked bill transmitted to him on January 31. Some of the organizations are Partners for Electoral Reform, Nigeria's Civil Society Room, the AGA Africa Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development, International Press Institute, Klein Foundation, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Enough is Enough, and the Electoral Hub. The organizations gathered at the Unity Fountain on Tuesday, despite a warning by the presidency on Monday berating them for planning the protest. The ruling All Progressives Congress APC has agreed to alternate offices between the North and South in the next dispensation. This was disclosed on Tuesday by the Progressive Governors Forum PGF after the meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. Disclosing this while responding to a question, Kaduna Governor Malam El-Rufai dispelled reports of division among APC governors. He, however, admitted there were disagreements over time for the party's national convention. Speaking on the outcome of the meeting, Malam El-Rufai revealed that agreement had been reached on zoning formula. Ogun State Technical and Vocational Education Board and the German Technical and Vocational Education has concluded plans to collaborate in training students across the basic, secondary, and tertiary institutions in solar as well as other crafts to further enhance their capacity. Leader of the Sky GIZ team, Dr. Katsin Fivaregel, who made the disclosure during a courtesy visit to the Special Advisor to the Governor on Technical and Vocational Education and Training, Professor Joseph Odemuyiwa, in his office in Abeokuta, added that the move was necessary in order to provide support with a view to enhancing competency-based program by accommodating one-year training without affecting academic calendar. Dr. Fivaregel submitted that the Sky GIZ team will be providing more practical skills to both instructors and teachers using the German model where a team of highly skilled workers and engineers interdepend on each other for greater output even as they work towards getting more industries on board to support the initiative. Responding, Professor Odemuyiwa said the move was in tandem with the drive of the present administration on technical and vocational education, revealing that the board recently presented the institutional development plans where all the technical colleges will now be a model and specialized technical college in construction, agriculture, manufacturing, hospitality, amongst others, while they still run the normal courses, adding that the board had signed an MOU with 25 industries across the state for the smooth takeoff of the program.
For us to achieve our objective, ensuring that technical and vocational education is seen as the way for employability of our youth, not only in Ogun State, but Ogun State in particular, because this is the industrial hub of Nigeria. We have the highest number of industries in Nigeria situated in Ogun State. And for those industries to grow, we need TVET, we need technicians, we need artisans, and that is why we deeply feel that TVET is a very important aspect of education. In fact, we call it the real education. The education that is needed for now is technical vocational education.
Odemuyiwa revealed that the program will also be extended to workers who are on the verge of retirement in order to equip them for life after retirement and to dissuade them from over-relying on their monthly pension, just as it will not relent in the certification of artisans in the state. He added that the board will also work in synergy with the Ogun State Chamber of Commerce, Agriculture, Mines and Industry, Ogun SIMA, Ministry of Trade and Investment, Youth and Sport, Bureau of Employment, among others, and coordinate individuals who want to sponsor TVET programs by issuing advice and competence. Also speaking, the Executive Secretary of TVET, Mr. Akinleye Olubori, appreciated the team, saying the government was working in collaboration with the World Bank to revamp the sector and address apathy for TVET on the part of the youth and fill the gaps in infrastructure and manpower. He assured that with a robust working environment, facilitating interactions with industries would not be a problem. As Ogun State government continues in the battle to contain the spread of COVID-19 and intensifies efforts to safeguard the population through mass vaccination, the responsibility of media practitioners is to join in mobilizing the people for vaccination. Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Alhaji Wahid Odushile, made the submission while declaring open a one-day advocacy meeting with information officers and key media practitioners on improving COVAX confidence at the grassroots in the state, held at the Rolac Hotel and Suites, Ijebu-Ode. Matthew Shomi completes the report. A total sum of 2,218,574,000 naira is the budget size of Ijebu Northeast local government for the 2022 fiscal year. The chairman of the local government, Honorable Folusho Badijo, disclosed this while presenting the budget to the local government legislative council at Aton, Ijebu. For Wura, Adisonwo reports that the executive council of the local government was inaugurated with a charge on stakeholders in the local government to give their maximum support to the present administration in its developmental drives. His report. In an effort to ensure quick dispensation of justice in Ogun State, a Grade 2 customary court was commissioned at Odunshelu Alaro community, Ijebu Northeast local government area. The establishment of the court was in accordance with Customary Courts and Variation Direction 2022 in pursuance of Section 3, Subsection 3 of Customary Courts Law of Ogun State 2006, signed by the Chief Judge of the State, Honorable Justice Musumola Dikbeolu. Margaret Okunlola was at the commissioning ceremony. She now reports.
Customary courts are grassroots courts established to hear disputes and dispense justice based on the customary law of the people of the communities over which they exercise jurisdiction. In its steadfast advanced course channeled at unbiased dispensation of justice and equity in the state, the Ogun State Judiciary commissioned a Grade 2 Customary Court of Appeal building in Odoshenlu Alaro, located in Ijebu Northeast local government, which was facilitated by the traditional ruler of the community, the Olu of Odoshenlu Alaro Kingdom, Oba Adedotun Oduneye Odusanya. In his address, the president of the state's Customary Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Mobolaji Ojo, emphasized that the project was imperative in a bid to change the narrative of administration of justice across the state.
The Grade 2 Customary Court of Oshelu is therefore competent to adjudicate in proceedings for declaration of title to land, insofar as the land in dispute is situated in a non-urban area and is subject to customary right of occupancy within its area of jurisdiction.
Honorable Justice Mobolaji Ojo assured that the customary court is fully ready with adequate facilities and manpower needed provided already, while calling on all to emulate the spirit of community development.
I enjoin and encourage all our people across the state to emulate this spirit of community development. I want to implore all residents of this community and surrounding communities to see this court building as their collective assets.
The Olu of Odoshenlu Alaro community, Obadedotun Oduneye Odusanya, said the act was done so the community and its environs will not be left behind in getting justice.
Everybody is looking for justice now. And you know, there's a lot of justice denied. I want to bring justice towards my people, my community and my environment.
The epoch-making event attracted Honorable Justice of the State's Customary Court of Appeal and High Court, royal fathers, prominent personalities and bigwigs in the state, where they all lauded the landmark achievement. Highlight of the event was the official presentation of Deed of Gift. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
Still ahead, federal government concludes Welcome back. We now bring you the report of Ijebu Northeast budget of over 2 billion naira. A total sum of 2,218,574,000 naira is the budget size of Ijebu Northeast local government for the 2022 fiscal year. The chairman of the local government, Honorable Folusho Badejo, disclosed this while presenting the budget to the local government legislative council at Aton, Ijebu. Fowora Adesonwo reports that the executive council of the local government was inaugurated with a charge on stakeholders in the local government to give their maximum support to the present administration in its developmental drive. His report.
It is a convergence of stakeholders, traditional rulers, and opinion leaders across the state on Aton Ijebu, the headquarters of Ijebu Northeast local government area, presented a budget of 2,218,574,180 naira to Honorable Olamide Ogunwale-led Ijebu Northeast Legislative House. The chairman, Folusho Badejo, said the budget was targeted mainly at the immediate needs of the people of the agrarian local government area.
We are therefore going to embark on electrification projects in some areas in need of electricity. Therefore, a sum of 15 million is earmarked for this purpose. Medical and health. To service this sector in the year 2022 financial year, a sum of 65,950,100 naira only is proposed.
Rural development, agriculture, rural electrification, medical and health, commerce and industry, education, water supply, environmental service, and community, as well as social development were captured in the budget, with general administration gulping more than others. The leader of the legislative arm, Honorable Olamide Ogunwale, assured that the Legislative Council would do the needful within the armpits of the Constitution, while the head of the local government administration, Mr. Sunday Adedamola Adewumi, assured that the workforce will ensure that the revenue base of the local government is improved, in addition to the statutory loyalty to the current administration from the workforce. The chairman of Ijebu Northeast local government thereafter inaugurated the executive arm of the local government, with Mrs. Iyabo Onodipe appointed as the secretary to the local government.
We know there is a limited resource, but we are trying to work around it to make sure that we move it forward.
The Commissioner for Special Duties, Ogun State, Mr. Femi Ogunbanwo, Tunde Oladunjoye, the Publicity Secretary, APC in Ogun State, and the former Commissioner for Finance and Economic Planning in Ogun State, Evangelist Samuel Durojaye, have this to say on how to make Ijebu Northeast local government move forward.
We now have a diaspora office in under my ministry now that we are trying to mobilize our people outside the country, not only in terms of resources now, even the knowledge, the expertise, that they should please bring them home to assist their hometown.
We need unity between the politicians, the political functionaries in the cabinet, and the legislators, and the career officers.
Let's build our future together. Let's join hands with the state government to ensure that we all partake in the building of a viable future for everyone. We need to employ our people to come together so that we can see progress. We are swearing in the members of the cabinet for the local government today. I would just implore them to please cooperate.
Dignitaries from all walks of life attended this ceremony. Adefowura Adesonwo, Ogtv News.
The combined convocation and 16th anniversary ceremonies of Abraham Adesanya Polytechnic Ijebu-Igbo for the conferment of higher national diploma, certificates, and presentation of special prizes for 2017 to 2021 graduates comes up on 24th February 2022 at the Polytechnic Auditorium at 11 in the morning. A statement from the rector of the institution, Professor Jumoke Bukunla Bilesomi Awoderu, indicates that the special guest of honor is the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun. She urged guests to be seated by 10:30 a.m. Education is the bedrock of success and provision of quality educational services to parents and students are what schools should strive for. This was the submission of Alhaji Nuruddin Oyedele, the proprietor Soltab Foundation Schools, during the 10th year anniversary of the school at Okeata, Abeokuta. Ronke Adeyemi reports.
Education, through its specialized agencies, tries to inculcate the traditions, customs, values, art and morals into the tender mind of pupils. But education is only as good as the educational institution itself. And this is why Soltab Foundation Schools is celebrating 10 years of being a citadel of learning and providing qualitative education in a week-long celebration which finally came to an end. In their welcome address, the proprietor and proprietress Alhaji Nuruddin Oyedele and Alhaja Bola Oyedele of Soltab Foundation Schools thanked parents for believing in the school and talked about the journey so far as well as future aspirations.
And a school for quality service to the people. It's a school that prepares and nurtures children for the future leaders of the society. It's a school that is quite aware of what standard means. And we follow that tenet to make sure that the students reach the highest of their career in life.
I started with just 35 pupils at the end of the session. But today we have graduated to having SS3 students. The number of pupils and students continue to increase by the day. And that shows that the people around believe in the school. We dish out quality education and we have qualified teachers.
There was a musical interlude of cultural display by pupils of the school, as well as recitation of poems, Ewi, Bible verses, Quran, miming to the beat, and much more. Chairman of the occasion, Barrister Adebayo Ayodele, emphasized the need for education and that the ship of the school is in good hands, hence the reason it will continue to move forward.
Without education, there is no government, no power, no country. It is on this note I will appreciate not only the students, but the proprietor and the proprietress.
Parents expressed gladness about being part of the SOTAP team.
Actually, all my 3 boys started with them when they started 20. 2 of them, later the third one. So I'm happy to be here because I have a SS3.
SOTAP is one of the best schools. We are having Abeokuta here, Abeokuta, Ogun State.
Provision of qualitative education for 10 years is no small feat. Thus, awards were presented to partners over the years, as well as outstanding parents, teachers, and students. Aderunke Adeyemi, Ogtv News.
As crime rate amongst youth keeps increasing, there is a need for guidance towards shaping them into becoming useful to the nation. To this end, a seminar towards educating the youth on becoming good ambassadors by Dolapo's Foundation titled Teen Focus Africa, Focus on being useful to Nigeria and Focus on being crime-free individual, was held at the Sacred Heart Catholic College, Okelewo, Abeokuta, Ogun State, with students in attendance. Here is the report by Adonla Ayola.
Mr. Bright Adeshino said the initiative, which has been in existence since 2015, is targeted at enlightening the youth.
The idea behind this initiative is to help every African teen become focused on being useful to his or her nation and at the same time being crime-free. So that is what the program is all about. And if we achieve that, we believe that we have given the best we can to our country.
The Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Professor Felix Salako, urged parents to monitor their kids as it is the first institution of learning, and also advised the youth to talk to people that will advise them on the right steps to take.
They should be under care. The care of the parents, the care of the institutions where they are, and the care of the government. It's basically the parents should start the work from home.
Professor Jendele Humbo, a professor of communication arts from Federal University Oye-Ekiti, admonished the youth to make wise use of the internet as it can impact on them positively, urging them to develop a good behavioral pattern.
It is a time for everybody to look for a little bit more time to pay more critical attention to parenting, more critical attention to the right form of education for the young ones, and more critical attention to the right form of exposure.
Other speakers at the event also centered their speeches on how youths should remain focused on having a positive goal.
Possibility is the ability to dig for an opportunity and being able to capitalize on it.
It's not to waste their energy on unproductive things. They should focus on positive things. They should focus on things of value. They should focus on things that will make them better people in future.
An interactive session was also held with the students who performed in a quiz to test their knowledge, as well as a short presentation by invited schools.
There is need for well-meaning Nigerians to use their wealth for the growth and development of the society and the uplift of the less privileged in the society. This came to the fore when the Rotary Club of Okemoson, Abeokuta, hosted its district governor, Rotarian Remi Bello, while inducting 6 new members. Sheyi Alao has the details in this report as presented from our studio.
It was all smiles on the faces of members of Rotary Club of Okemoson, Abeokuta, as they received the district governor, Rotarian Remi Bello, and inducted new members. Speaking during the investiture ceremony, Rotarian Remi Bello stated that the goal of the Rotary Club is to encourage and foster the ideal of the service as a basis of worthy enterprise in the community. He then congratulated the new members and charged them to give their best to the club and community at large.
My charge to the new members is that they should support the club, Rotary Club of Okemoson, to be one of those clubs that the district will be looking forward to as one of our icons.
Rotarian Oyende Oluwasegun, while speaking, described the visit of the district governor as a good development for the club, adding that it will serve as motivation to every Rotarian.
His coming here is an eye-opener to all the new members and to the old ones as well, because he has really tutored us, lectured us on some things we don't know and what we ought to be doing to make the club a viable club.
The new members expressed happiness after being inducted to the club.
At last, I'll be able to assist the indigent and the needy in the society. I'll be able to take impact into the society. It's only going to add to what I've been doing. So I really appreciate it. Service to humanity has been my hobby.
The newly inducted members described the visit as an avenue to achieve the objectives of the revered Rotary Club of Nigeria.
Members of the National Cashew Association of Nigeria Ogun State chapter has broadened its membership horizon as the planting of cashew season between January and June begins. The association also appreciated the Ogun State government for the free distribution of cashew seedlings to its members. Details of the report are in this package.
Rated as the 4th largest producer of cashew nuts in Africa and the 6th in the world, with a 160,000 metric tons per annum, according to data from the country's Agriculture Ministry. Cashew, in Africa's most populous country, is usually harvested between January and June, though farmers stock the crop and export it all year round. This is the crux of this convergence of the Ogun State cashew season flag-off, where members were taught many tricks surrounding the business, most especially the twist, pull, and sell aspects.
If they comply with issues like quality, ensuring that their cashews are well graded to international standard, equally that the council has an incentive for will-be exporters.
Most of them never knew what pulling is. They never knew what twisting is. Majority of them just they harvest the cashew just like that. They put it in the bag and they market it. And at the end of the day, they get poor quality.
The event with the theme Post-Harvest Practices to Minimize Loss, Boost Wealth Creation and Internally Generated Revenue in Cashew Industry gave insight on how the year will look like.
The issue of the security along the road, that was the general thing in the country. The other one is exploitation, double taxation on the road by the police and some other things like that. I think we will look at it vividly and inclusively too, so that we'll be able to alleviate their fear concerning that.
People rush at selling their products. If they can wait, tarry a while, let the season, let's enter into the off-season. When you get to the off-season, definitely the price will peak.
The government and the majority of our people to come invest in this industry. Let's build more industry for cashew processing, because out of all over close to 300,000 metric tons Nigeria produces every year, we only process 5%. This is disheartening.
Ogun State government's presence was also felt as it acknowledged the free distribution of cashew seedlings amongst other supports.
One of the 5 authors of Nigeria's national anthem, Professor Babatunde Ogunaike, is dead. He was 65. Ogunaike was born on March 26, 1956 and hailed from Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State. A notable Nigerian educationist and publisher, Gbenga Adigbola, confirmed his death. According to Gbenro Adigbola, Ogunaike emerged as one of 5 whose words and phrases were combined to form the anthem. The others were John A. Ikechukwu, Eme Etem Akman, Shota Omogwe, and P.U. Aderibibe. Ogunaike attended the University of Lagos for his bachelor's degree, graduating with first-class honors in chemical engineering in 1976. Following the increase in airfare and the implication of Nigerian routes, the Senate has called on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, declare a state of emergency on the nation's federal roads. The upper chamber also urged the federal government to immediately make good its indebtedness to the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency in order to enable the agency to carry out its primary responsibility of rehabilitating federal roads, especially in the face of the astronomical increase in airfares. Special Assistant Press to the Senate President Israel Tabiwo disclosed this in a statement issued on Tuesday. He said, rising under Order 41 and 51 of the Senate Standing Orders, Senator Jimson Bassi lamented that local airfares in Nigeria have risen by 63% in response to a spike in the price of aviation fuel and attendant costs of operation. The federal government is to accelerate action on the construction of a Royal Palace Museum where the Benin bronze artifacts that were repatriated from Germany will be kept. The Director General, National Commission for Museums and Monuments, Professor Abba Tijani, made this known in an interview with reporters on Tuesday in Ibadan. Artifacts worth £2.5 million have been handed over to the Oba of Benin, Oba Iwari II, by President Muhammadu Buhari, 125 years after they were looted by British troops during the invasion of Benin Kingdom. The returned artifacts, comprising of a cockerel, Oba, and an Oba head, Ohomo Nilaho, were repatriated from Cambridge University, Jesus College, and University of Aberdeen, Scotland, respectively. They were handed over to the traditional ruler by the Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Tunji Ishola, on behalf of the President. Okay. The Senate on Tuesday confirmed 5 nominees for appointment as executive directors of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Those confirmed include Francis Alabo Ogare, Executive Director, Hydrocarbon Processing Plants, Installations and Transportation Infrastructure, and Dr. Mustafa Lamod, Executive Director, Health, Safety, Environment and Community. Others were Mansour Kulia, Executive Director, Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure, Bashir Sadiq, Executive Director, Corporate Services and Administration, and Dr. Zainab Garbi, Executive Director, Economic Regulations and Strategic Planning. The confirmation of the nominees followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on Downstream Petroleum Sector. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Petroleum Downstream, Senator Sabo Mohammed, in his presentation, recalled that the Senate on Tuesday, 8th February 2022, considered President Muhammadu Buhari's request for the confirmation of the nominees. He explained that the President's request was in accordance with the provisions of Section 34(3) of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to implement the agreement it reached with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, failure of which has led to the ongoing strike by the university lecturers. At the plenary on Tuesday, the House specifically urged the Ministry of Labor, Employment and Productivity and ASU to adhere to the clauses and provisions of the previous Memorandum of Understanding and the Memorandum of Action in the interest of Nigerian students and education sector in Nigeria and call off the warning strike. The House also mandated its Committee on Labor, Employment and Productivity and Committee on Tertiary Education and Services to interface with the Ministries of Labor, Employment and Productivity, Education, Civil Society Organizations, Nigeria Inter-Religious Council and ASU to address the outstanding issues that are precipitating the current warning strike by members of ASU. These resolutions followed the unanimous adoption of a motion moved by a member of the House, Dozie Nwakwo. Nwakwo recalled the meetings by the relevant stakeholders which led to the call-off of the ASU strike that lasted 9 months from March to December 2020. The United States Mission in Nigeria has partnered with Chrisland University, Abeokuta, on capacity building and entrepreneurship development for the students towards self-actualization and independence. Deputy Head, Public Affairs Office of the U.S. Consulate General, Lagos, Mrs. Jennifer Falls, disclosed this collaboration during a visit to the institution.
So we have an office called Education USA. So that's how we give accurate, timely, correct information to Nigerians who want to pursue studies in the United States. So some pursue studies at the undergraduate level, some at the graduate level, some go for their doctoral studies.
In her remarks, the University Vice-Chancellor, Professor Chinedum Babalola, said the visit of the U.S. Consulate is a testament to the rapid growth of the institution, which will lead to the all-round development of the students.
As well as the offer of a concurrent interactive virtual session with our students and staff on best approach to online research and the use of eLibrary USA, as well as donation of eLibrary USA database. We expect this institute to provide knowledge of violent extremism.
Professor Babalola hinted that the institution is planning to establish a world-class Chrisland Institute for Security, Development and Diplomacy. The U.S. Mission Nigeria donated books and e-library resources to the library of the institution as the event afforded the students the opportunity to seek clarifications on various opportunities the collaboration has to offer. A federal high court sitting in Jos on Tuesday sentenced a former Minister of Water Resources, Sarah Ochope, to 3 months imprisonment. Ochope, who served as minister under former President Goodluck Jonathan, was sentenced alongside a former chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Plateau State, Raymond Dabo, and the Plateau State coordinator of Jonathan Campaign Organization, Liu Sunday Ditong. The 3 accused persons had been standing trial since 2018 in a case of money laundering and conspiracy brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, amounting to over 450 million naira. Justice Zainab Abubakar of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Tuesday granted the request by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, the permission for further detention for 14 days the 2 alleged drug couriers named in the case involving suspended DCP Abba Kyari. The court gave the order for the detention of Chibuna Patrick Umeibe and Emeka Lofos for 14 days in the NDLEA facility in Abuja pending investigation. The order was issued after listening to the Director, Prosecution and Legal Services, NDLEA, Joseph Sunday, who moved an ex parte application to that effect. Business segment is next with Opeyemi Adewumi. Join us again.
It's good to have you join us on the business segment of the news. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, on Tuesday announced that the federal government was set to boost cocoa exports through the implementation of research findings in the newly developed training manuals on cocoa production. Receiving the two manuals from Cocoa Swell Group in his office in Abuja, the minister explained that hindrances to the optimum production of cocoa in Nigeria were captured in the documents. Abubakar said the federal government would meticulously implement various recommendations in the manuals, stressing that this would definitely impact on cocoa exports from Nigeria. He said a lot has gone into the production of this manual, involving articulated research by experts on finding out why cocoa production is not at its best in Nigeria. On the time frame for the increased export of cocoa, the minister said it would happen very soon, stressing that efforts were in top gear to realize this. Following the federal government's plan to extend the fuel subsidy regime by 18 months, the International Monetary Fund has said Nigeria would likely depend on overdrafts from the Central Bank of Nigeria to as for its periodic consultation with Nigeria.